My goodness. Look at all these people.
Hi, Janine. Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Welcome.
Nice to see you. Hello, Iris. Hello, Kelly. Hey,
Hi.
everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, my
Very.
friends. Oh, man. Welcome, welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
We might have everybody mute here, or can you do that, Janine, and then unmute us?
Here we go.
Okay. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, you guys, to this month's creative space. We're so happy you're here. We have kind of an epic gathering planned for you. But before we get started, Rachel and Janine and Rob, they're all fresh off of Joy Fest, so they're going to spread some Joy Fest love here to right off the bat.
We just wanted to see if anyone was on from Joy Fest because it was such an epic time, wasn't it? Who's on? Oh, I can see Anne, Emma, Dewey. Oh, lots of you.
Ken and
Wow.
Jones in waving.
Beautiful.
Oh, it was such an awesome time, and we really loved it. We loved the community, the glory, the presence, and
It was so
it
fun.
was so good just to see some
Mhm.
of you guys as well that have
Yeah.
been kind of participating in creative space
Mhm.
and seeing you and be able to give you a hug and just be with you. So
Oh, it was wonderful.
yeah, it was a cool time, wasn't it? It was a bit crazy. We love to
As always.
party.
Yes, there was
There's
a lot
lots of
of
crazy photos.
lot of fun, a lot of balloons, a lot of dress up because it is the party, and but it was deep as well, wasn't it? It wasn't
It
just
was.
party, it was very deep, very transformational.
Mm.
Um, some people had the what we call the crying whack as well, which it's okay, if God's moving, he's gonna be changing you and making you grow. So crying whack's cool too. I had it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't have the crying whack, but I was just so moved by just being with everyone, and it just felt like just such a family, heavenly time. It started to feel, because it was deep
Mm.
and there was just like the presence was so strong that it just
Wow.
started to feel like heaven, heaven on earth, heaven with us. So we just really hope that tonight, you guys that weren't in Joy Fest, we're going to bring you into that. That's what we carry. And we're holding all of you in our hearts, and we hope that you really enjoy tonight. It's, as Elizabeth said, it is going to be a full packed night tonight.
It
It's going to be
is.
really good. There's so much we've got and which we love. This is just expanding and growing. So I'm going to hand over to Elizabeth now, but just know that we love you and just keep on commenting as we're going through. Participate. We're all part of this.
Yeah.
So over to you,
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Awesome. Yeah, we're just again so happy to see all your faces from all around the world, and it just really is such a joyful and exciting time, in the earth and what the Lord is doing, and in the realm of the creatives, in the realm of creativity. We're always talking about this. This is what we're really carrying in our hearts and stewarding in the earth. And so to see all of you just expanding into what the Lord is putting in your hearts to do, and even beyond what you knew was there. Some of you are really expanding into some things that you didn't even think were even available to you, or that you had an affinity for, and we're loving seeing that. So I want to start out here with some not boring announcements, but announcements nonetheless. So we have our next creative space. We just want to get these dates to you guys so that you have them. You can begin to put them on your calendars and get ready for those. So our next creative space is September 19th. Same time, 7 p.m. London time, September 19th. That's our next creative space. And then, guys, this is epic. We have our first creative space conference.
Woo!
I am getting myself all the way over to Wales for this
Yay.
epic get together.
Yes,
We're
yes.
all going to be there. It's going to be so fun. We're just going to explode from Wales all of the
Come on.
creativity that you guys are carrying. So we're going to have, you know, community members sharing, and this is just going to be an epic explosion of beauty
So
and
true.
creativity and delving into the new and creating from Zion and all of this stuff. We're going to have epic worship sessions. This is just going to be incredible. You know, the artists, the poets, the songwriters, the you know, all of us are going to get together and just have an amazing time. So you're going to want to register for that, because my understanding is that seating is somewhat limited in the chapel. So I don't know, you know, we just need you guys to get your seats. We have opened this up to, you know, this is open and public, and we'll probably be advertising it a bit more, but really want you guys who are in the creative space community, who have been gathering with us here, to really consider making it to Wales for this conference and getting your space now before it fills up, because we love you guys. We've built a community here, and we want to see your faces at this conference, and just really face to face, you know, let's do this thing. So so Creative Space Conference, the 3rd and 4th of November in Wales. And Janine, where's the registration link for this? Is it on the Creative Space
Yeah,
group?
it's on the group, it's on COBH website, and it's also on my website. So there's 3 places you can find it. And if
Perfect.
I don't know if Rob can pop it in the comments.
Awesome.
I never know how to do that
Yeah.
quickly enough, but yeah,
I know
there's 3 places you
the
can
techie
go.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
also I'll be
awesome.
putting it on the mail out as well. I think it was on the last mail out that I did. So yeah, you can
Perfect.
find it.
Yeah, where
You
is it?
can find it. Go find it and get yourself registered, because guys, it's going to be epic. I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait for this. Our first of many, I hope. And I really do believe that. So all right. So that's it for those announcements. The other thing that I wanted to quickly mention is that all of us have Patreon communities. We all have Patreon accounts. And if you would like to connect deeper into what we're doing, you know, and support what we're doing in the earth. My Patreon is really a hub for a ton of content. I mean, I'm doing meditations on there. I've got live worship sets. I've got teachings galore. We do live Zoom gatherings. We're getting in deep into the Order of Melchizedek right now, and the Heart of Hebrew. I've got a Shabbat Yeshiva we're doing, where we're actually learning Hebrew and learning how to study scripture in the original language. And really just it's just amazing. It's vibrant, and so if you are wanting to connect more with these things, check out my Patreon. Janine has got a Patreon. She's doing some meditations, like musical meditations, songs in seed form right now. It's just, it's so cool, you guys, to engage with this stuff and to support, you know, these things in the earth. Of course, Justin and Rachel have an epic Patreon. And so
epic.
You want to, so epic, you want to check that out. And Rob is just amazing in what he brings and what he carries, and the beauty and the depth and the wisdom that comes through in what he creates. And so I just love and honor, you know, every single, you know, one of you here. And so I just love what you carry, love what you are bringing, and stewarding, in the earth. And so you guys, if you are interested, we do want to just make sure that you know that it's available, these places where you can really connect deeper into what we are doing and what we are stewarding in the earth, beyond, these gatherings that we're doing. So that being said, let's hop in to this gathering. Tan-Yah, let's bring Tan-Yah on here. Tan-Yah is just an incredible artist, and she's just begun to do some live painting, during these sessions, and she painted this epic piece last time as we were worshiping, ascending, and it's so incredible. I actually just saw it for the first time this morning. Somehow I missed it, and I was blown away, Tan-Yah. So before we get started, and we're going to ascend with Rob in here in a minute, and we'll do that. But I want to hear, and we all want to hear about this piece that you have done. It's just breathtaking. So tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the kind words and just speaking about it. So I started this piece last time, and to get you guys thinking about it, it was actually a piece that I painted previously. Well, I started the canvas previously, and I wasn't feeling it. So I'm like, let's just do something new. And sometimes we have to scratch where we're at and start new, like a reset. And, I'm glad I did that, because this is what came out of the reset, which is, to me, even for myself, this has been a growth process. Every artwork, I think, is a growth process for all of us. And we paint from an experience. We paint from, create, actually, whether you write poetry, songs, whatever it is, we write from this experience. So this is called Into the Unknown.
Come on. Love that title.
And as I was painting, for example, the river, it changed the whole time. It changed from a fiery red fire river of life. It changed to the wine of bliss. It changed from all of these different aspects, just peace and reflection. So I don't know if you guys can actually see some of the reflection on there, but the whole purpose of the series that I'm painting has to do with identity and how we express, whether it is song, whether it is painting, whatever, how we express the Christ inside of us, how we express who we are. So for me, this represents, I was engaging the seven spirits quite a bit during this piece. And you can see in the coloring, you can see in the veils. I don't know, like if you guys can see up there in the center, I had a friend say yesterday, is that an orb you painted? And I'm like, well, I didn't paint with the intention of an orb, but if you're seeing that, that's phenomenal. So there's also a curtain, like someone saw a curtain opening up. So I think for me, art is the portal that we can engage with. Any art piece, it's a portal, it's a gate that we can engage with. And as you engage with it, you discover your own beauty. You discover your own truth, you discover your own story. So even though I'm painting with an intention, I feel because we're a collective, everyone finds that collective voice within the artwork. So just in short.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and I think you're so right. You know, when we're gathered together and there's creativity happening, there's this thing in the quantum realm where everybody sort of has a part in it. They're bringing something to the atmosphere, right? We all bring something, whether conscious or unconscious. So when you're creating in the midst of a group like this, it is a bit of a collective thing, which I think is kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it. And that is one of the beautiful things about collaboration, and maybe one of the deeper parts of collaboration, that we don't realize, that it's happening, whether or not we see it overtly. It is happening just by us being present and bringing the light that we carry to that space. So I love this. Yeah.
And
Do you mind if I say something?
Sure. I don't know who is saying that, but
Sorry,
yes.
that was me. Sorry.
Oh, is that Oliver
yeah.
Pengelly? Welcome,
Yeah,
Oliver.
yeah. Hi, sorry.
Can we
I
just
didn't
bring you on
do it.
screen a minute? Is that okay? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Am I? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
How do we do it,
Sorry.
Rach?
I'll do
I
it.
agree with the last person who spoke, and I've been painting in churches for the last 20 years, 25 years, painting live. And I brought many, like lots of times I've been invited to a church, but I've been put in the back, or like asked what am I going to paint, or I don't know, and all across America and Europe, and they didn't trust what I was going to do. That's the thing. They didn't trust it. They didn't trust my heart. They didn't trust what I was going to paint, and they would often say, "Well, I'm preaching on this, so could you paint something about this?" And I would look at them and say, "Maybe, I don't know, whatever the Holy Spirit tells me." And I would paint things, and it would totally link with what the pastor was talking about. Often, most often, and and they said, "Oh well, maybe we can use this in church. Maybe this is part of church. Maybe this could be something that we could add." And I was like, "Yes, there are people in your congregation that see things, not hear things. Well, they do, but they interpret it as seeing." And this has been my struggle for probably 20 years, really. There are people in church that see things and it's not necessarily understandable, or and people say, and people still today ask me, "What's the explanation of that picture?" "Well, I don't know. What was it? Like, what do you get from it?" And they go, "Oh God, I got this and that." And well, then that's what you got from it, And I've been challenged a lot of times to say, okay, what biblical verse was that from? What you obviously been studying Christ, and I'm like, yes, but this is from my heart. And I really wish upon everyone listening here that's creative, it's like Jesus spoke in parables. They're stories, there are images, they are songs, and that's the way he preached. And everyone here has a song, has a preach, has a message, has an image, and it doesn't have to be justified by a passage. It comes from knowing him.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It
Really
comes from
good.
that place. And I don't know how many people, because we have quite a wide audience, may not know you, but you've been doing this kind of art and been a forerunner of it for decades now, haven't you, Oliver? I mean, we've never actually met in the flesh, but I've know of your work and used to get amazing encounters from some of your pieces, especially one that had the harvest feel. There was this beautiful kind of scenery with these golden harvest, and there's always been something amazing on your work. And I know that you actually did Justin's Abraham, It's Beyond Human book cover, so we really love and honor you as a forerunner in the mystical kind of art that comes from that place of union in Christ, in the Trinity, in Yeshua. And I didn't know you were going to be on tonight, but what an honor it is to have you with us.
No,
So
it's
thank
my
you.
friend. This is my friend Joe Martin. and he sent me a song that he's recently done, which is amazing. And yeah, I don't like groups really normally, because normally it's groups of people that want to be Christian artists very quickly, and not people that have been Christian artists for a long time.
Yeah.
And I have been, and I know the struggle, and I know, I don't know, just know the pain. I know the pain of not being recognized, and knowing that God loves what you do. He loves what you say and do, and that's great. But you know, there is no outside acknowledgement of that, really, or financial. I'm going to say financial. Yeah, but actually, I don't know. I was in hospital the other day with broken legs. I did these prophetic pictures. I think I was on morphine. I don't know what I drew. I don't know. Absolutely crazy shit. I don't know what I did. I did some really crazy drawings, and I sent them to the doctors and nurses who looked after me. But I was like, that's God. That's God. Maybe it was. I mean, hopefully it was. But I felt more useful in that period of time where I wasn't involved. It was my spirit doing something, you know? And like, I felt really alive. I felt like in my worst state, like I've broken lots of bones. I've got bone disease. But in that place where you're in hospital and you're lying down and these people are looking after you, you can draw pictures of them and about their work and their life. It's like, how cool is that? To make them feel special, to make them feel like,
that's awesome.
I don't know, because I didn't. I thought God left me. I do. I, you know, at that point, anyway.
Oh well, thank you for chipping in, because it's a real, like I say, honor to have you on, and we'll have to get you on again sometime, and maybe share some of your work within our group, because we've got this group that's on Facebook that is not all anyone is an artist. So we've got people who are not accomplished artists, but they're just drawing from that sweet place of their bliss with Jesus. Or we've got songwriters, architects, you know, many forms of creativity, and the community is just so that people don't feel isolated and alone, and that we're all encouraging each other no matter where we are on the journey, because like you said, we've all got something. So Elizabeth, what's happening next?
Yeah, so we're going to move into a time of just engagement.
Is Joe here?
Yeah, he's going to be on later.
Yeah,
so we're just going to we're going to have worship and someone's going to speak, and then we're going to come back to Joe.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to move into some engagement, some ascension. We've got the incredible Rob Townley, who I'll hand it over to you in just a second, Rob, and you're going to intro this piece, I think. But I'm also going to introduce our speaker at the same time. We have Rachel Abraham speaking today, and what an honor it always is when we get to hear from you, Rachel. You just bring such amazing, just a treasure of riches of the heart of the Lord, and I just so love and appreciate, and always I always just am looking forward to whenever I get to hear you. So we will hear from Rachel right after Rob brings us into a time of ascension, and that will be amazing. So Rob, I'm going to hand it over to you to go ahead and intro this special piece that you've done.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. Yeah, this piece does need an intro because it's very, very special. I was commissioned to write a piece of music for someone who's got Parkinson's, and that in itself carries some weight, and it not really a challenge because I've done it before, but when you get asked to do something like that, you realize how important it is, that you have an opportunity to tap into God's heart, that heart of Yahweh, and then release through the medium, be it music, be it poetry, be it rhyme, other creative arts. You have an opportunity to release what's on God's heart through that medium for that person, and it carries weight. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and it can be a bit scary at times because you think, wow, I've got this responsibility to try and I've got to try and do this, do it to the best of my ability. I've got to listen. What is God saying for this person? So I was asked to do a piece of music for someone with Parkinson's. This took a while to come. Often they come really, really quickly, because we're in a constant state of connection. We should be. So it shouldn't be a chore, shouldn't be a real struggle to try and get across what's on God's heart for someone. But in this case, it was a bit of a struggle because I felt it was so important. I tried to do it from a human perspective quickly. Right, okay, this has got to be great. This has got to be great. Right, chords. I've got to have some really great chords. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And I struggled because it took me to a point where thinking, no, you just got to let this. You've got to let this be. You've got to let this happen, rather than me trying to do it. So eventually, once I've kind of humbled myself enough, it came really easily in the end. Now, what I also did, as well as encapsulating what was on God's heart for this person, I also did a bit of research into Parkinson's, and I discovered that there's a frequency of 4 hertz, which is really great for the cognitive sections of the brain. So for people with that condition, that frequency is great to get activity going in their brain. Okay, so what I decided to do was to embed 4 hertz in this piece of music. Now, the human hearing range is generally between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. So how do you embed something which is 4 hertz? You can't hear it. And the way you do it is through something called binaural beats. So in order to get 4 hertz, in order to get your brain to understand and hear what that 4 hertz is, you have one tone of 100 hertz, which is this. You hear that? It might be low on some of your systems. It's a very low sound.
I can hear it.
So you have one of 100 hertz, and then you have one of 104, almost identical. There's 4 hertz difference. When you play them together, what the brain does, it interprets it, and the brain receives the 4 hertz, which is the difference. So you get this. Now the brain, you're still not really hearing the 4 hertz, but your brain doesn't know that. So your brain is interpreting the 4 hertz and accepting it and receiving it. So this 4 hertz is designed to really help the brain, help it work and get it moving again. And especially for people with Parkinson's, it was like, right, I'm going to add this in. So without further ado, I'm going to play this track. It's 8 minutes in total, so it's not super long. It's a little bit longer than my normal ones, but it's only 8 minutes. So I just want to invite everyone to just take this moment now to engage, to ascend, to connect with that heart of Yeshua. Yeah, tap into that frequency, tap into that sound. Just be a part of that love, that embrace that God wants for you and God has for you. Just let yourselves go. Let yourselves fall back spiritually into that embrace and connect with that wonderful heart and that wonderful being.
Yeah.
I just want you to soak up this sound, because this is for us as well. Soak up this sound and receive it and let it just filter through. Let those frequencies just just filter right through your body, right through the skin, through the bone, through every organ, into the very tiny particles of matter that make up your body. Okay.
beautiful place that's brought us to.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you for your sweetness. Wow, thank you for your kindness.
Yes.
I could actually, I want to say taste. I would taste his kindness on those sounds. Thank you, Rob. That was so amazing. Thank you, Papa. Just stay in that place. Just stay in that place of his sweetness, of his love, of his kindness, of healing. The depths and the realms of healing that opens up with those sounds. Just stay in that place right now. So Father, I just ask that as I kind of open this up now and change and start talking, Father, that you would still just continue that. Your presence just would just remain. That you would abide with us. That you would be with us. That whatever I say will speak to people's hearts. That transformation will come. Revelation will come. Hey. Whatever the individual needs to hear, let them hear. So thank you, Father. Thank you for this space. Thank you for this creative space. Thank you for these people, these wonderful people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful hearts. Wow.
Thank you. Wow. Well, little taste of joy fest, a little bit of joy.
Yeah, we could do with a bit more.
Okay. Yum, yum. Just keep receiving it right now, guys. Keep receiving it.
Have another drink.
His sweetness, his
Yum, yum,
kindness,
yum.
his love, his mercy, his grace, his beauty, his justice.
Yeah.
Everything that he is just all just there all the time.
Woo-hoo.
We lack nothing, guys. We lack absolutely nothing. Just get in the river of his abundance, flow in his river, knowing that there is no lack, that there is nothing that we have. He has everything that we need, everything that we need. And that's part of my journey. It's part of my journey that, or part of our journey, mine and Justin's, that we've been able to just flow and grow as the years have gone on, in knowing that about his abundance and his everything that we need, he provides. It might not be exactly what we want at the particular time. He knows what we need, and we just go along with the journey and enjoy everything that he's got for us. Oh, that was great, Rob. Oh my gosh. High five, man.
Yeah, I was when it
amazing.
came, I was done. It was it's one of those things. But we've all got that ability to channel that. It's just a case of, just recognizing that connection we have. God's heart to see people restored, to see see people whole is immense. It's an incredible thing. And as creatives, we've all got that ability to channel that. We can do it. I've said this so many times before. We can do it with music, with painting, with sculpture, with poetry, spoken word, through song, through stories, anything. We've got that ability to channel it.
Totally.
We do, Rob. I've been channeling it, like I've broken a lot of bones over the last 4 years, lots of broken bones. I have bone disease, but listening to Rob's music during that video really uplifted me. And
cool.
I'm going to tell you that I've been a prophetic artist for a long time, and I painted a lot of pictures, and lots of people have been you know, encouraged by that. But like, as far as encouraging me, I don't know, you know. And that's the trap, is not the trap, but I paid what God speaks to other people. It means something, and that brings meaning to my life. It does. Everything I paint brings meaning to other people, and that's why I did it. That's why I started doing it. Because I know Jesus said to me, it's not about the art world. Like, it's not about making money. It's about painting pictures that mean something to people. And I still do that, even though I've been in hospital for a long time over the years. The last 4 or 5 years, I've not been as active with festivals and stuff and painting live. I wish I had been, but I can't do it. And I often thought maybe it was the devil trying to stop me doing it, you know. But then I got to grasp that. It's like, no, I'm painting anyway. And I started painting anyway in my shed, like small paintings, and doing things that I still believed in. Listening to Rob's music, that's exactly how I feel.
Oh, that's really cool. We're gonna kind of move on now, Oliver. But we'd love to hear from you more, because you are an absolute legend. Like I said, we really honor what you've got and what you've been doing for years. But it would be amazing to hear maybe from you in a bit more detail. But just so you know, we've got Rachel's going to speak now, and we're going to kind of move on. We've got some other people that have been invited to speak tonight, because we want to finish it in half an hour as well if we can. So, but we'd absolutely love to hear more from you, because you are amazing and a legend, and you've been through it, you've lived this. So thank you so much. We're really honored that you're kind of with us tonight. You're epic.
Absolutely. So
go for it, Rach.
Okay. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story, and I don't get to talk about myself. I don't like to talk about myself much, but I just wanted to just share a little bit of my story and take you back to when me and Jess met. When me and Jess met, we were only 18, and all I wanted in life was to get married and have a family and kind of settle down. And Justin was total opposite. Did not want to get married, did not want to have children. His parents had just been through divorce, and I was brave or silly, and I told him that I wanted to have 4 children on the second date. And well, you know, God knew, and he stuck around, and we fell in love, you know. And as I was writing this out, you know, as I was preparing, I was just writing. And it was just amazing how that moment where you fall in love, it's the frequency of love. It kind of changes everything, you know, that moment where you realize this is the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. It changes everything. And he just spontaneously proposed one day then, and he changed his mind. He wanted to get married, and then further down the road we had kids. So where I'm coming from with this is that was my aspiration as when I was younger, is I wanted to have a family. I didn't feel like I was a very creative person, you know. I've been creative with the kids, and but I haven't. I was musical, but I wasn't very confident in my music ability. I kind of put it on the shelf after school. I kind of just put it on the shelf and left it at that. And I really enjoyed the family life and enjoying that. And I was happy. I was happy doing all that. And then as we've grown in the Lord, we followed him. We went to Toronto School of Ministry and did 6 months there, did some missions trips. kids are growing up, and all of a sudden there's this space, and I can kind of like, I just want to honor Justin at this time, in this moment, because I want to say thank you for creating a safe place to nurture that kind of creative side and building confidence in me. And because it's okay to make mistakes, you know, the culture he says about it's okay to make mistakes, and it's a safe place. So thank you, Justin. I know he's on here. He's just encouraged me to just grow and be the person that I am. I don't have to be like him. I don't have to be able to speak like he does, because I am my own individual person. You are your own individual person. Everybody here has got a special gift that God's given them to bring to this beautiful earth. And my words are often very just encouraging, lifting people up and saying, go for it, go for the things that bring you joy, go for the things that bring you life, and partner with heaven to bring down to earth what he wants you to bring for this time, you know. So thank you, Justin. It's so necessary to have a safe place to grow. So like, if there's people on here that are even just venturing out, or they don't know what they kind of want to do, or they want to do something new, you're never too young, you're never too old. Just go for it. Try something new, try something different, you know? Like Janine asked me to sing on the band. Was it 2014? I'd never sung on a band, in a microphone, nothing until 2014. But I knew in my spirit at that time in my life that it was okay to go for it. And I can only sing spontaneous songs. I can never remember lyrics. Ask my kids. I'm always singing the wrong lyrics. So God knew where it was great putting me with Janine. Because when I joined Janine, all she would do was spontaneous, which was song in the moment. And it was absolutely wonderful and beautiful. And that's grown. Do you know what I mean? That I can kind of sing, and, you know, I can sing Janine's songs now as well. Oh, it's great, isn't it? And then I started to, my confidence kind of grew, kind of like, we always say, follow the energy, follow the joy. And I started to do a little bit of design work, and I designed a logo for a new venture that's coming, called Planet Joy. I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to screen share for the first time. So I'll show you in a moment what that's like. But then also, God gave us the chapel to do up. And it was my job to refurbish it. Now, I've always loved a bit of interior design, but I never thought that it would become such a big thing for me. So I'm 48 years old now, and I just want to encourage people just to go for it. It's something different in your life. We've got a long life ahead of us. If we believe in life and longevity, we've got a long life ahead of us, and there's so much excitement and so much fresh stuff for us to delve into. But the chapel was a complete, like, I was well up for it. But when I got in the building, everything was like a blank canvas. And me growing up, I'm not an artist. So as a blank canvases scare me. And suddenly I've got this whole building that's got a blank canvas. Every room you go in is just like not how we want it. So I embraced it, and it's amazing with a blank canvas, even though it's like it can be very scary. You can feel very overwhelmed and daunting. I started to kind of partner with heaven on it and join in with our angels that are over our ministry, which is Shekinah, harmony and joy, and sit in that place as I look at the blank canvas, look at the place, look at the building, see into the future and see what God wants to do in this place and how it's going to be and how it's going to look. And we hold wisdom's hand and we hold the Father's hand and we partner with them to bring that down onto this earth. And you start seeing this blank canvas instead of like fear or daunting or scary or too much, or all these kind of like thoughts that go through your head or through your mind, even with writing songs or sculpture, poetry. If you've not done it before, you can have all these thoughts in your head. See it as an opportunity for freedom, for a space to be able to create and bring heaven down on the earth, to express his heart. Express his heart. Now, what is in my heart and what I need to express will be different to what other people need to express. So be yourself, be authentic to yourself. What does the future hold for this building? What does God want to do here? The new, fresh thing that he's releasing. I'm a strong believer in the creativity is transformational. It's not just, it is fun and it is joy, but it's also transformational, which is what we saw at Joy Fest as well. It doesn't have to look serious. It doesn't have to look hard work, although there was a lot of hard work we put in when you start to see some of the photos I'm going to show you in a second of the chapel before and after. But like, be curious. Be curious with the Father. Delve in and try something totally abstract. Justin, in our new house, we moved house about 18 months ago. He started painting. He's never really painted before. And he's coming up with some amazing pieces of artwork. Very floral, aren't they? But I love them. They're absolutely wonderful. They speak of joy and happiness. And they're all around my house. It's wonderful.
So awesome.
It is awesome. It's time to create. It's time to flow. It's time to blossom. And to create means to bring something into existence.
That's right.
Isn't that wonderful?
So
Yeah.
good.
God wants to partner with us. He
Yes.
wants us to co-create with him. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords,
Mhm.
Majesty. He wants to co-create with us. He wants to hold our hands and see his future, partner with him for his future on the earth now. Wow. Blows my mind, blows my mind. Wow, so he can be glorified, that his glory can be seen on the earth and into the cosmos. His glory, as we partner with him, as we hold his hand, as we hold wisdom's hand. Wow.
That's right. Wow.
Just reminded of wisdom in Proverbs 8, verse 30. So I'm going to share my screen now, guys, if I can.
Go, Rachie. You can
I've
do
not
it.
done this before, guys, so
Oh, you're doing it. You're doing it.
I'm doing it. Are
You're
we
doing
there?
it,
Can
girl.
you see it?
Amazing.
Woo!
This is amazing. Look at that.
You're doing a new thing. You did a
Yeah,
thing.
doing a new thing. Oh, Proverbs 8 verse 30, one of my most favorite parts of the word is Proverbs 8, where it talks about wisdom. And I think the deeper you go into these things, the more you realize that wisdom's been with me most of my life, and you guys, and it's awesome to be on the journey of the revealing, isn't it? Of knowing who's been with you, walking through your life.
Amazing.
So it says in chapter 8 verse 30, I was there close to the Creator's side as his master artist. Daily he was filled with delight in me as I playfully rejoiced before him. I laughed and played, so happy with what he had made. Wow. That's what he wants for us. He wants us to come close beside him. Wow. The abiding, the staying, the remaining in him.
Yeah.
I am in him, he is in me.
That's right.
Yeah.
I am in him, he is in me.
I would say that
Close beside him. Wow.
Yeah.
can anyone hear me or
Yeah.
no?
I'm going to carry on talking. If you can mute for now, thank you. 1 John 4 verse 12 to 14. It all comes from the abiding. But if we love one another with unselfish concern, God abides in us, and his love, the love that is his essence, abides in us and is completed and perfected in us. Wow. By this we know with confident assurance that we abide in him and he in us, because he has given to us his Holy Spirit. Wow. John 15:4. So you must remain in life union with me, for I remain in life union with you.
Wow.
As a
That's a good
branch
one.
severed from the vine will not bear fruit, so your life will be fruitless unless you live your life intimately joined to mine. So there's that calling, that knowing that he wants to be with us. He wants to co-create with us. He wants us to have that deep, deep knowing that he's in us and we're in him, that we abide in him, we stay in him, that we remain in him in everything that we do. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
yeah.
In Proverbs, in the second part of that, Proverbs 8 verse 30, master craftsman here in the Hebrew talks of an artificer, a person who is skillful or clever in devising ways of making things, an inventor, a skillful or artist worker, craftsperson, architect, master workman, a skilled workman. We can do all things. We can do all things. If we're partnering with him, we can do all things.
Yes.
Wow. In the Passion Translation, it says, I was there, close to the creator's side as his master artist. Whatever gift he's given you, whatever that is, whether it's poetry, dancing, cooking, building, drawing, he wants to do it side by side, remaining in us. Wow. And the possibilities are limitless, guys, absolutely limitless. It's time to start thinking outside of the box.
Right.
It's time to start thinking out of the box. Go above, stay in that ascended place, stay in that ascended state, and see what Papa is saying, see what he wants you to do that's fresh. See what he's saying, what he's doing, what he's creating. Let's hold his hand. Let's hold wisdom's hand. I see myself holding wisdom's hand daily. It's just my right hand, walking side by side. It's my daily engagement with wisdom. Even if I can't see her or she doesn't talk, I'm holding her hand. I'm holding her hand. Every moment. That's how I started to engage with the Father when we started hearing of Ascension and things like that. I was such a busy mum that I was like, I can't give up hours of my day to do all this. And he taught me I just had to turn my face into his presence. Whatever I was doing, whether it was the washing, the cleaning, the playing, whatever it was, I could just turn my head and I could be there.
Yeah.
And you grow in this. I don't even have to turn my head. I just needed that little physical kind of movement to acknowledge I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm holding his hand. He's seeing me through. He's seeing me through. Wow.
So good.
Wow.
Many of you'll know Akiane, who is the artist who was given the gift of painting when she was like 4 years old. But this particular picture, if you can see it on your screens, is a self-portrait that she did when she was 11 years old. And I just watched a little video of her, and I just want to mention her briefly, because if you notice, her body is the same as the sky. And she painted herself as if she was immersed in the universe. And she also said that she did not have a palette, that she took her colors from the stars and the galaxies.
Wow.
Ooh, wow, so much glory on that.
I know. I know.
God.
And that's the revelation she had got given when she was 11. And it's like, we're never too young and we're never too old. It's there. He's constant. He is constant. Those galaxies are constant. The colors. I'm sure there's new colors birthing though.
For sure.
So let's be immersed in that. Let's be inspired by the people around us. Wow, so that's what I've done with the chapel, and I just want to show you some before and after photos of the fun I've had in like growing in interior design. And I want to give credit to my mum. My mum's on here. She's got an epic artist. She's an artist as well, and she helped me design a lot of the stuff as well. So credit to my mum. Oh, there's my Planet Joy logo. I forgot about that. It was coming up. That's the logo I designed.
It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it? It's kind of like joy explosions all over
Explosion,
the
yeah.
yeah.
It looks so awesome.
Which got birthed out of rest. So these are the pictures of the chapel before. We got the hall. We even got Justin standing in his room as it was there. People ripping wallpaper off and painting. And as you can see, it was kind of, like I said, it was a blank canvas. And yeah, a lot of rooms to do. And this is the chapel after. So we've got the main hall all done, clouds everywhere, sun, colourful chairs. You'll see in the bottom middle there, the guy painting the pink room. That's mine and Janine's office.
It is.
So great.
And the picture above it is the wallpaper that we've got behind our desks. So that was one of the very first things we did in the chapel, was that wallpaper, because I knew Janine liked clouds. It didn't matter to me that no work could get done.
No work gets done
all the time.
It's a trigger right into the realm.
Yes. Exactly.
The heavenlies.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And the crazy thing is, when I went shopping with my mum and my mum-in-law, Justin's mum, about 6 months later, I actually got offered an interior design job in a super, like one of the big home store places. And they didn't know anything about me or anything. It's just God has puts these things in you to be expressed, you know, and I've just let it grow. I've enjoyed the process. I've enjoyed the journey, and I have more ideas all the time. So whatever God's put in, you just go with it. That's right. But if we partner with heaven and with wisdom, this is the fruit. You get joy, you become wise, you find life, and you find favor. If you go to verse 32 of Proverbs 8, and it says, "And so my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord."
Wow.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for joy. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for life. Thank you for favor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And as you start to do this, we've taken it, well, me and Justin have seen it go further than just the chapel as well. So as we bought a house within the same town, and like I said earlier, I see the creativity more than just in our own room. It can be for like other people. But we've covered the town that our chapel is in as well. Although our house is at the other end of the town, so we walk through the town at least once a day, and we hold the town in our heart. Wow. And you can do this with anything, people, family, any relationship. You hold them in your heart and you can govern over it. As you hold it in your heart, there's a place where you can govern, and it's really powerful.
Yeah.
We've started to see the city, so it's not a city, it's a town. We've started to see it transform. We've started to see a lot of indie kind of like businesses pop up, creativity start to explode. We found friends that have the same vision as us, even though they're not Jesus lovers. They know what's there because they're tapping into the creative realm that heaven is releasing. The kingdom is out there and they're tapping into it. But what was wonderful, about 4 or 5 months ago, I would walk down the streets like, God, this has to be filled with color. This has to, you know, that building needs to be painted. That needs to be cleaned up. Let's get this place looking beautiful so people can come in and just enjoy life here. And walked past this building the one day and it had been painted with clouds, exactly like the wallpaper on the study on our office wall. So I'll show you a picture of it.
Whoa.
That is so crazy.
I couldn't believe
awesome.
it.
It's so cool.
I could not believe it. It's exactly the same as what we'd framed up in our office was happening out there on the streets.
Wow.
And, you can
It's
see
huge.
the sign is the artist's name there called Mad Frog. This is a business name, and you can see the street on the top right there in the row, and underneath you can see what he's framed up. He's a spiritual guy. He's framed up that the rest of the street is going to be painted in colors. That's the street I walk down. Me and Justin walk down all the time.
Wow.
It's powerful. So we met with the artist. We've had him at the chapel, and we've talked with him and said we want to support his vision, and it's what we've been wanting to see, transformation here. You know,
Amazing.
Isaiah 61 verse 4 has been like so key for me all my life. And it says, they shall build up the ancient ruins. They shall raise up the former devastations. They shall repair the ruined cities, devastations of many generations. So our creativity can transform the world around us.
Right.
That's right.
So many levels, so many levels. And I want to end with this, that in this day, he has called us to co-create with him, in him and through him. As we align our vision with his vision, we will find cohesion and synchronicity in the abiding. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for the abiding. Thank you, Father, that we want to be one with you. We want to have that realization and pull down whatever you want from heaven to this earth to see transformation. Transformation on whatever level is that physical healing, emotional healing, family relationships, town restoration, citywide, countries, nations, earth, cosmos, however big God has placed it in your heart, just hold his hand and walk it out. Enjoy the journey, guys, and enjoy creating with him. And wisdom's fun to hold hands with. Thank you, Papa. Here we go. Stop share.
Wow.
Hey.
So good. So good. Yeah, that's amazing, Rachel. Just I feel like it, you know, an expansion and opening up in the words that you're speaking, you know, that there's just an expansion and an opening up in the atmosphere and in our hearts as we are sitting in this, you know, and you know, as we transition into, we're going to talk to Joe Martin, just an incredible guy who does multiple things. And I think that this really speaks to what you're talking about, Rachel. I think it's so, it kind of is woven together today quite perfectly with what you're talking about, because what Joe is seeing in his life is this expansion of he's doing all of these multiple creative things, not just
Absolutely.
one thing, but there's this expression of all of these different,
know.
all of these different things. And we're going to see that more and more. And it's
Yeah.
exactly because of what you're talking about, Rachel. It's
Expansion,
exactly
yeah.
because, there's this expansion. There's what I call this multiple potentiality that is coming alive in people because we are engaging and interfacing with the heart of the Lord and Zion, which is so multifaceted. When we create from Zion, when we create from these realms, we're actually have access to so much more than we ever realize. Like Justin's painting now, like all of these things, you're doing interior design, like these things that you never like, we're expanding into, and there's great success and great beauty and just great power on it and joy on it. So I just love that. And I want to just sort of move into talking with Joe here about what's kind of happening in his life with all of these expressions of creativity, which I think is just, again, such a cool demonstration of exactly what you're talking about, Rachel.
I know.
We're seeing
I'm so
this in the
excited to
earth.
talk to Joe. We love Joe.
Do we have Joe? Is Joe on?
Want me to spotlight him?
Yeah,
I've done
it. Let's bring him on. There's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. Well,
Thank you.
I think we just want to really just kind of chat with you and, talk about all of these different creative expressions that are coming out of your life and kind of maybe your journey a little bit with that.
Oh, what do you want to know?
Well, I'd like to introduce you, Joe, because
Yeah.
so Joe, we've known Joe for a really long time, since we did our very first Love Fest, which was a worship event. And actually we met you and Paul at the same time through Rob. Rob's always saying, can I bring, my musician friends? We're like, yes, bring them. And you were amazing. I think you played on every set, didn't you? The very first time you played, you literally played for like 10 hours or something crazy like that. You were amazing.
They didn't want me to. But I insisted.
Well, back in the days, we didn't know many people, so it was like everyone was on every kind of worship set. But I just loved like your heart just to be so supportive, and you've always been such an encourager of everyone else. Like literally, if anyone follows you on Facebook, you're part of every band in the UK, it feels like. If you look at your Instagram. I don't know, like how would the Christian community survive without you? This is what I'm wondering. But with that,
very well.
But with that, what's been incredible, I think, over the last couple of years for me is just to see that you've really kind of transitioned into a place of rest, into a place of union, into a place of abundance, and into a place of life. And I've seen that shift, because previous to whatever happened, you were doing lots of things, but you weren't in the place of shalom and peace, and in like an effortless fruitfulness that you're in now. So I'd love to kind of hear about that a bit more, and just publicly say how awesome and what a brilliant, even though like you're going to show how amazing this stuff is within you. But to be honest, you've been such a support of everyone else for years. So it's really great actually to have you on here tonight, and just for people to see, because you've got so much treasure within you.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here. It was so exciting when you asked me to do this, because you guys are just so important for me, and I'll try not to say too much, so because I could just go on for ages about how amazing it is. And I can remember I can remember, like we say years ago, I can remember the moment I got pulled into the mystical stream, and it was at one of the companies, Burning Heart. I can remember the moment. It was when you hired like a university or something like that, and we were in, and I'd played a couple of sessions, and that session I wasn't playing, and I was sitting down, I was listening to Justin, and I just saw the river come towards me, and it just came to me as an invitation. It just came right up in my face, and it was like, and it was really polite, but it just like was right there in my face, and I just thought, this is a life-changing moment here, and I remember inside of myself, I just jumped in, and that was the moment that, I don't know what it was, 5-7 years, I don't know, but what I found is that every step of the way since then has been a step. And it's some of it's been in these movements, and a lot of it hasn't been in these movements. But it doesn't matter, because the actual life force in the river appears in all of it, and it doesn't have to have the same language as the language we're used to using. And that's what's led me to where I am now, really, which was to jump in the river and to swim around quite a bit. And it happens. It's like, I love what Rachel's saying about, she's talking about abundance. She's talking about, there is no lack. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about coming home, really fundamentally. She's talking about living from a place of rest and coming home. And that's been my experience. And the short-term experience of that has been that a couple of years ago, 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, I bought the company that I was working for. I'm an architect. So there's a load of teenagers looking at me from the kitchen, and it's quite off-putting. So I bought the company I was working for, and it was so unbelievably stressful owning this company. Like it was killing me having this company. So I thought, I can't do this, and so I got a life coach, and my life coach was brilliant, and she is brilliant because I still got her now. And I could say so much about what's happened in that, but what I think is amazing, and it might be helpful for everybody hearing this, is she's got a scientific background, and in her head she was always saying, I'm not an artist, I'm a scientist. I'm not an artist, I'm a scientist. I'm not creative because I'm not programmed to be creative. And then she started questioning it and going, is that really true? Is that really true? That language I'm using over myself, is that really true? And she started testing it, and you want to see the paintings she does now. They're brilliant. They're really, really good. And she realised that it was the mind was stopping her. So what happened to me when I started working with her back in June was the same kind of thing. The life force that was flowing, it was just as you said, Janine, when you knew that I wasn't in rest. You knew that I wasn't in that shalom rest, because I wasn't. I was, doing stuff, but I was kind of struggling, in all honesty. But in the turning back in, I remember reading Richard Raw's book about the immortal diamond, and he talks about the immortal diamond is the true self. It's the Jesus in you. It's the false self is where all the disturbance is, but coming away and finding the true self. And in the true self is the creativity and the life force. So turning back into that is where the creativity started happening for me. And it just, whereas before it had been work, I'm going to sit and write a song, or I'm going to sit and do something. Because as an architect, my job is to be creative, but it's very much by rote. I need you to be creative to produce this, this, and this. And you go, okay, I'll do that for you then, you kind of thing. And you can, in all honesty, you can do that in the same life force, but as you can imagine. But sitting back away from the false self and sitting into the true self, the diamond, that's where the light was coming in. And what I found then was that it just literally just exploded inside of me. This life force just exploded, and that's why it doesn't matter if it's painting or if it's poetry. For me, it's just painting, poetry, song, and architecture. I haven't told you before, Rachel, but I did interior design before architecture as well. So yeah,
awesome.
Is there nothing you don't do?
Yeah, I do put the bins out as well on Wednesday, so I've got the whole thing covered. Yeah, well done, I'm pretty big. That's a big moment, and it's So it exploded, and what was happening was before it had been work to produce, but when life broke in from that river again, it was the same river, when it just broke in, it just keeps going. It doesn't need to wait for you. You just become this conduit of what it wants to do. And then it's the stuff that Rachel's got on her slide there about what does it produce. It produces its own life force, it produces joy, it produces peace, it produces that union. It's the union in it. And then you feel you adjust. Well, you feel a bit of a con, like, you show someone a painting and go, yeah, we've just done that. And they go, okay, yeah. Oh, how did you do that? And you're going, I don't know. I have no idea. But because it's just receiving something which is much bigger than you are, which is what that girl's painting is, isn't it? She's actually standing in the cosmos because she knows she's part of the fabric of everything. Absolutely. And it's all resonating through her.
That's beautiful. And so you tend to write poetry, don't you? And songs and art, and obviously in your day job is doing this architect business that you've got. So how do you kind of switch in between what you're doing? Because at the moment you're like you're a pure explosion of, like, one moment you're posting a painting, the next minute you're posting a song, which we're going to show some of your artwork and hear one of your songs before we close. But how are you finding, like, that rhythm of how you're going to paint now, how that's going to come out of you?
For me, I guess it's going to be difficult for everyone else, but for me, it's like I hear the call that's. I hear like a call that something's coming. Get ready, something's coming. And it might well be that, like, I might be coming home from work and I'll know, when you get home, don't do anything, just sit there like that, and something's going to come. I had a funny one where I knew something was going to come and I was really tired, and I was like, I don't need this now, I just need to go to bed, kind of thing. I was just tired and it wouldn't come, and I'm like, I'm an old person. This is like 9:30. This is really late for me, kind of thing. It wasn't. It was 11. I've got some integrity there. And it got to like 11, and I was thinking, I am so tired. What happens if it's really big? I haven't got time to write whatever comes through. And so what I hear is like this bell goes off often. This little bell goes, and it's just like ding, 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 like that. And what I realised, I was sitting in my study. Going, with the book open, because I knew it was going to be written. Okay, I'm ready for this. Yeah, this is going to be brilliant. And then I realised that I was in the wrong room. That it wasn't going to come in that room, and so I had to go straight down to the dining room where I am now. And then it came, and then I went to bed. And it's just like listening to this bell, and so. It's because it's a life force, it's an energy, it's a frequency, it's something that's inside of you vibrating. That's one example. Another example was, and I won't keep going on, but this is just one this is a new one that's never happened to me before. On Friday, I was having a conversation about dreaming. What happens when you dream? What happens when you allow yourself to dream? And I realised I haven't allowed myself to dream. I felt constrained about what, especially in these times, what's going to happen in our world, what's going to happen in this, what's going to happen in that, and I was worried. And I just started to realise, hang on a minute, a dream can become reality in which you live and breathe, and it is something which will materialise. And as my wife and I, we went up to London to see Tim Vine, a Tim Vine gig. Tim Vine's hilarious, by the way. If you don't know who he is, Elizabeth, you probably don't know who he is. God, look him up, he's amazing. Anyway, it was raining, and so we went into this cafe just to get out of the rain, and we both had a book with us, and we'd done loads of talking, so we didn't need to talk in that moment. And as I was reading the book, this poem just came straight through the book at me, and it answered all my questions about what it is to dream. And the poem came back to me, it educated me about you were thinking about dreaming. It's so much more than that, Joe. It's this, and it just, your spirit starts to open up and your heart opens up, and this flow comes through, which is just like Rachel's saying, because Rachel is amazing, by the way. I don't know if anyone knows. Rachel is just like amazing. You have to listen to everything Rachel says, and it's just like Rachel says. It's just was like it's constructing this hope right there in this. I was wet in a cafe, waiting for my mint tea, and I was just getting constructed into the shape of hope through a poem that has come from somewhere onto a page.
Wow.
You have the poem there, or
Yeah,
do you want to read
Let's
it?
hear that one, yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so that poem was. This one's longer than some of the other ones, but it said this. It said, "Why won't you dream? What is it that you're afraid may come into view? And what are you... Hang on, sorry. Why won't you dream? What is it you're afraid may come into view? And what are you afraid it might do to you? What are you afraid might come true? Why won't you let yourself dream? Why is it that you feel tethered to the path you're already set upon? What is the harness that holds you safe? And what is the fear that freezes you to this place? What would happen if you dreamed of a gate? And what would happen if you opened that gate? What might be beyond that could be so bad? These might be the best moments you've had. What force ties you to the path where joyless determination is your fuel, and where blinkers must keep you straight, to toe the line and work to pull through? And what do you grasp hold of with sheer desperation and wrestle to win through blind determination? But what if you could fly? What if all you dreamed could appear? What if you could reach beyond your accepted constraint? And what if you could leap like a deer? What if all you think you need you have, and lives inside you in brooding power, a living hope, an innate sense, coiled for release at any hour? And what if you don't need external validation, and the self in you is truer than any hopeful advice, stronger than any helpful hand, kinder than any self-motivation? What if you are enough? What if you have all you need? What if the ball and chain is gone? And what if you are free? What then? What when? What how? What now? All the good things you see that were made were first subjects of thought and dreamed. Every place, every song, every book, and all art were created by thought and will, and the heart. And every road where you are was someone's dream, or else the embrace of another's thought. And every dream has the power to be. So what is your dream road? Where is your gate? And what if by quirk your dream wasn't fake? Would worlds collide? Would fire and ice mix? Would alchemy call up the flames of your phoenix? The dream is the door in the floor, and through it we may rise and rise, with eyes lifted up and wings spread out wide. We may, with innate skill, climb the sky ladders of warmth. What if you were to dream?
Wow.
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 Amazing.
That is epic.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
Like you say, the questions you have came from within. And that's what I love about being in this place of union, is that a lot of the answers to the questions we get directly from the source, the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, the life giver, and every one of us has that. What I'd love to do now is play one of your songs, Joe, one of the latest ones, and maybe we can all just take a moment, and I'll probably share my screen and show you some of Joe's artwork. But just, this is such a beautiful song that he's written, and it's in the same spirit as this poem about engaging that place which is above and allowing yourself. And my favorite line is in this song of yours, Joe, is that forever is right now. And
forever is a moment.
Forever is a moment, and forever is this moment right now. It is so beautiful. So I think Rob's gonna play. So let's just see all your faces a minute if we can. I don't know, can we do that, Rachel?
What's the title of this one, Joe?
Little bird.
Okay.
It might be called Rise Up on the file.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
This was actually the very first song that came without thought, that just arrived. So this came last June, so June 2022. And when it came, it blew me away because I didn't expect it and I didn't write it. So you say it's my song. I didn't write this song. I just received this song. Wow. Honestly, it came out complete. All the chords, all the words, all the melody in about 10 minutes.
they're the best, where you just,
The
you know, you're
best.
going beyond yourself, and you're just downloading what is in the realm of eternity, what is in God's heart, what is in God's mind. And that's the beautiful thing, you know, about Ascension, is we go into the place that is the creativity itself, because it's the environment of his heart and his mind. His thoughts become our thoughts, his intentions become our attention. And I love that scripture that says, let the movement of my heart and my words be acceptable and pleasing in your sight. And I think when you move into that place, you come into that synergy of the movement of his heart. So yeah, listen to this song, guys. It's really beautiful. And let's just take a moment now just to really let the song that has come through Joe from God's heart really impact us.
She looks down as the day fades away, the same exhale of hope. Her eyes catch a glimpse of Venus as the sun sets. Another box on the calendar observed. There's a draw in her soul, a whisper of a long-forgotten dream to come away. There's a pull to disentangle, lift her eyes and see again. Stand tall, rise up and fly, where angels fear to tread. Rise up and fly, little bird. Rise up and fly, fly out of your head. You don't have to try. There's a burning sensation, a fire of life kindling in her chest. It's gonna light up every room and light her way, 'cause she has all she needs. Rise up and fly, where angels fear to tread. Rise up and fly, little bird. Rise up and fly, fly out of your head. You don't have to try. It takes a moment, it only takes a moment, it only takes a moment to rise. Only takes a moment, forever is a moment, forever is the time to rise. It only takes a moment, it only takes a moment, only takes a moment to rise. It only takes a moment, forever is a moment, forever is the time to rise. Rise up where angels fear to tread. Rise up and fly, little bird. Rise up and fly, fly out of your head. You don't have to try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try.
Wow. It's so epic. Sorry, I couldn't get my screen to share, so I couldn't do your artwork, but I'll put it over the replay so that people can kind of see. But that is such an amazing song. I can't wait to hear you, because you're working on an EP, aren't you, at the moment?
Awesome.
You're muted. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and yeah, 3 tracks recorded, probably just do 4, maybe 5 tracks. But there's also the album to finish.
Yeah, people were asking where to get your music from, but it's coming, isn't it?
It's coming.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
So rich what God's doing in you right now, and I think what God's doing in us all. You know, it's really amazing what's happening in our Facebook community. Tan-Yah actually put together an art slide, which I'll put on the replay. All the amazing art that's kind of come out this month, and it's just so beautiful that as we're all just engaging His heart, beautiful things are coming, that the world is changing, that we're bringing in the future. The future is now.
Right.
Forever is the moment right now, and it's lovely and beautiful to see. So I think we're going to wrap up now. I'm just going to hand it back to you, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thanks
What a
so much.
beautiful time together tonight. I just I just love these gatherings, and thank you so much, Joe, for sharing just your heart. Just comes through loud and clear, and love the I'm going to say the poetry of your life, because the poetic thought, the poetic heart, just from these things that you've shared, it just comes through loud and clear, the poetic heart of God. So thank you so much for what you're putting out into the world, that really does change things. So so we just want to thank everybody for being here tonight, today, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, Rachel, for just an amazing time of wisdom and encouragement and depth and beauty. And Rob, just I was speechless listening to that piece. Just absolutely stunning. So thank you for that today, and Tan-Yah, and Janine. And so again, thank you all for being with us here, and we will see you next time, September, what is it, 16th or 19th? I'm going to say it wrong here. I need to pull it up. 19th. It's the 19th.
There we go.
September 19th.
Well done.
Is our next creative space. again. And so do join us. We're going to have a great time. As always, in between, yes, engage in the Facebook group, post your pieces, whatever you're doing. We love to see that, love to see what is just opening up in you and all over the world. So post away, and engage with each other, and it's just a beautiful community there. So do that. Register for the Creative Space Conference. Want to definitely remind you about that. We want to see your faces. We want to be together and see what is going to come in this, the alchemy of all of us together in one space. It's going to be explosive. I know it. And so that again is November 3rd and 4th, and you're going to want to go register for that.
Someone's asking what the Facebook group name is, Janine.
It's just called Janine John and Friends, on my Janine John Music page on Facebook, so you can just find it on there. Because we're all friends.
We're all friends. Where do we register? Did we post that link, Rob? You can register.
It's on Eventbrite, but I'll post it again in the
Creative Space group,
and it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on the Company of Burning Hearts website and also mine. So, if not, I'll double check.
We'll put it in the group again as well.
Yeah. So we'll be pumping that up, but definitely get your space.
We do it at the end. Look at them all. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yes. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Keep creating.
Post on the group.
Unmute everyone, Rach.
They have to do it themselves.
You can unmute and say goodbye.
Unmute everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you guys. You're so amazing.
Bye, Emma.
Thank you. That was so awesome, everyone.
Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ray.
Have a great night.
Thank you.